This is the women's 100 metres breaststroke final. Imogen Clark in lane 3.
Thursdays are my worst day of the week. Well, not worst, my most busiest. So I get up at 4:30, come training for 5:30 till 7:45. I work 8 till 4. I then gym and then get in the pool. And then I coach the little ones on poolside, doing a little like a conditioning session. So I leave the house at 4:30 on a Thursday. I get home at around 8:30 at night. So I certainly know I've done my day's graft on a Thursday. I'm Imogen Clark, an international breaststroke swimmer. British record holder, sprint athlete. My aim for 2024 is to swim the fastest I've ever swum, I think. There's obviously a big gala at the end of the season, and I'd quite like to be at that. It's going to be a big race to do so, but my main thing is I'd like to go to trials, do something I'm really proud of, and with that there might be the outcome of going to the Olympics. If not, I'd still like to think I can walk away head held high.
I think at the very beginning, when I first started working with her 18 months ago, the Olympics in Paris was a talking point. I'm John Adey, I'm the Director of Swimming here at Derby XL. You talk about milestones with senior athletes, and it's all about what are the exciting bits to look forward to, and Paris is 100% in that conversation.
It's something, being a 50 swimmer, that I've never put all my hopes and dreams into. However, now I've done a Commonwealth Games, a European Championships, a World Championships. Kind of like they're the main three, the only three you can go to for the 50. The last one that I've not done is obviously the Olympic Games. So to be able to tick all 4 major comps off would be as a career point of view, would be absolutely incredible. So it would mean the absolute world to go, to be honest.
And so slowly but surely, every training cycle that we've had since we worked together has gone more and more towards the 100, more and more focused on doing a job over 2 lengths, not just one. In time for being ready for the trial. My
training has changed a load, absolutely done a full 180. I don't really touch the gym anymore, just so my body can actually cope with the mileage that I'm trying to get in the pool.
I think coaching an athlete who has got an undeniable speed and trying to stretch that over 100 metres, that's the fun bit. That is the fun bit. It's far more simple to do that than it is to try and get someone some speed from somewhere that maybe doesn't have that natural fast twitch. It's trying to overcome a mental hurdle as well, I think, because that balance of being out slightly too hard, holding back too much, it's a real fine balance.
It's so easy for me to slip into that fastest gear and just go in at 60 rate, knowing I can't sustain that during the 100. So I've always found it really hard to either I'm too far like my 50 rate or I'm too far like a 200 rate, and I find the 100 a hard balance to find where I need to actually slot into which gear. So for me to kind of successfully be able to practice that rate, I've made sure I've not gone to the top end, so I can find my comfort zone and just every session just trying to be at that 52 stroke rate. So that's kind of how I've learnt that, is to just stop doing that, my fun 50 stuff altogether.
The biggest challenge is trying to get her to buy into and understand that aerobic work and it needs to be done, because it's the stuff sprinters don't want to do it. Sprinters hate it. Sprinters hate the counting kilometres and swimming slow. They just want to go fast all the time, and that's just simply not how you build aerobic capacity and how you get aerobically more conditioned to hold on to your speed. So we do a lot of 75 kick, for example, that she's got to be quicker than the short course and the breaststroke. Best time, and I mean, she smashes it out of the park. She's a good kicker, but doing swimming and doing hard efforts on that duration rather than just swimming, training for the 100.
The first long course swim of the season. Oh well, first of the year. I did one in Rotterdam, which was painful. We're doing your first long course 100 in January is always a bit of a nervous one. So it's quite nice to go Sheffield, no pressure. Solid swim, to be fair. It was a 1:08, which we weren't quite expecting.
So she was actually a quarter of a second faster than this time last year. So that's usually the marker that I would use with something like that.
Been a little bit ill over the past couple of weeks, and it's certainly in the January grind at the moment. So to bosh out a 1:08, I was pretty pleased with, really.
So we're looking back at what she did last January and making sure that she's a little bit quicker than she was then, and trying to reflect on the work she's done up until that point. And it's all sort of going in the right direction. So they know what to expect in January. They're not going to go and set the world alight. They are in a hard training phase, but just to get that tick in the box that they're quicker than they were this time last year, that's a nice bonus.
But for me, April is just the same as any old gala. I can't treat it any differently. It's 2 lengths of a big pool, and that's how I'm kind of focusing it. There's no point being stressed for the next 3 months. You know, that swim's a big swim, but at the end of the day, it's not going to change my life. So for me, I'm trying to do all the grind so April can be the best swim it possibly can be, while still enjoying my day-to-day life. The gym is like my baby. I love being in the gym. You know, I'm a sprint girl at heart, training for that 100, but that's where my passion and my love lies is you know, being fast and being in the gym. You have to be fast, strong, powerful, all the things that I love being. Training more for the 100, the mileage has gone right up in the pool. Me working full time, I don't have like 6 hours spare in the week to be in the gym lifting heavy, so I try and just smash out what I can 2 times a week at max, and I just try and make everything relatable to the pool to minimise getting injured. I do some dumbbells where they go together just to get the pure lactate feel that I'd get on the 100 breast. Try and do some jumps to replicate my start. Kind of like a dive replica, especially dive left foot first. Trying to get my left foot on the block. It just pretty much feels exactly the same. Everything I just try and make sure it's relatable to the pool. So because I can't do loads of it, I have to make it really, you know, super specific. You know, I go on the watt bike to get see what I can produce on the wattage, just to see where I'm at kind of power wise. 1060. Not bad. See what my weight is. Obviously, if I started putting on a load of weight, it'd be harder to hit the watts. Similarly, if I'm at my right weight and I'm not producing enough watts, I know I'm not powerful enough. It's always the forearms that I think is such like a. I don't know if it's just how I swim breaststrokes. I swim quite a wide catch. They're quite wristy. It's one of them that once it goes, we're in danger. These are my special socks. Old hands. I didn't mean to be honest. I thought they were just plain white ones. I used to absolutely love the gym. I used to be with all the boxers. I used to smash it out. We'd do some grindy sets, we'd do some heavy sets. I used to go home at probably 11 o'clock at night on a school night, and I'd just be in bed absolutely killing, but I'd be so buzzing that I'd just been able to finish whatever session I'd done. It's kind of like an adrenaline boost. So I do really miss that feeling, but at the moment the pool is taking all my energy for them 2 big lengths of the pool. Yeah, John, the swim coach, kind of came out of the blue. I'd never met him before. It's not like I'd kind of chosen to go and work with John, but I've been working with him now. This is my 2nd season, and I think it's been going really well. We've done a lot of stuff that I've never done before, a lot of stuff we have done before. We've had like a real collaborative relationship in terms of his knowledge and my experience, and we've just found a way to make them both work, and seems to be going well.
5, you've got to do it again. You've got to do it again. 2, 1.
And that's been the trick, really, is when you're working with the senior swimmer of that level, you can give them that responsibility. And you can say, right, well, I need the set to look like this, but you can write it if you want, and I'll throw it back at you if I don't like it, but if you write it, then you take ownership of it, and as long as it ticks the boxes I want ticking, I'm good. Imogen's really unique. She's really unique. And I think a lot of it stems from her physiology. She is an out-and-out sprinter. The difference between Imogen and any other swimmer is they've all got 5 gears and she's got 6. But that 6th gear sometimes comes at a price, but when she's in it, it's pretty special. And I think actually that is kind of like at the centre of her as a swimmer, as a person, as an athlete.
I think when you live with her, you see all the behind the scenes, so it can be really tough when you see like every single minute literally that she puts into it. I'm Erin, I'm Imogen's partner of 3 years. Obviously she's up really early and back late, so when it does pay off, it's the biggest relief and excitement ever. And obviously when it's not, you feel all those lows with her. And
she lives her life by that as well. Like she's really passionate about things that she believes in. She knows who she is. Her physiology, that sprinter, that mindset, that's her as a person. She's all in. She's all in.
Was your stroke out a bit? Was one less? Is it the same? I'm even extra 5 here. I want you to find the glide a bit better on this one. Hold your glide all the way through 35, 2, 1. Count lower then. Yeah. And it's quicker.
60. And a half.
And then where's it for?
18.
That's huge, isn't it? 1.5. And you're half quicker.
Yeah.
That for me is far better execution than the first round.
That felt better. We tried to get my head down a bit.
Your rates are 49 and 49. 49 and 49.
Yeah.
I like that. That just looked like you're in control all of a sudden.
That felt so much better.
Rather than the first one looked like you fought. So here, your rates on the first one. Here, 52, 52, 51 for 24.9. Here, you're 49. That was another one, 49 that I'm about to give you. And you're quicker.
Yeah.
So this is stroke rate that just on today isn't working for you. It's not giving you the extra speed. Like it's not worth doing. Look.
Yeah. 0.6 difference, isn't it? For stroke half less.
Like
That's the difference between you literally finishing the race and not in it. There's some days where it's really tough and I'll be sat at work behind my laptop and my eyes will get heavy and I'll really want to just relax, but you know, I've been there and done it, and sometimes when you are just training it can get quite lonely when you're just coming home and you're just waiting for the next session, especially if you've done a bad session. You just sat around waiting all day thinking, oh, that was really bad, and now I've got to go back in a few hours. So it's definitely a balance.
There are some positives to be had from that. It's obviously a challenge from an energy workload to manage the day-to-day, but to be able to switch your brain off from training, have something else to focus on. It can sometimes be a long day when you've been at the pool and then you have to go to work and come back again. And there are some weeks where that's more frequent than others for her.
Like I say, I do try and still work the full working week most weeks, 40-hour week if I can. But you just have to do it. If I didn't have my full-time job, I wouldn't be able to swim. So, it's not really a choice. If I had a choice, everyone would probably choose to go down the professional swimming and have nothing else to worry about and be able to come back and nap after training. But for me, I have to, and I actually think it's kind of helped me really. I've stopped being as lethargic and you know, I go to work and I can't go in that. And it's just another aspect of my life again, you know, I get to go and talk to normal people who aren't athletes, and you're just widening your circles, and I think it just makes me a bit more of a all-rounded person, having different pockets of my life rather than it all just being swimming.
We just have to manage her training around it, so she does her key sets when she's more fresh, so a lot of her work is done at slightly more at the front end of the week than the back end of the week. She does more key work in the mornings and the evenings. And so we just manage that around her energy level, but it's no different to anybody else. It's just that her challenge is a job.
Everyone's saying, oh, do you not want to get a job till after Olympic trials? But I think for me, if everything was to go absolutely awful at trials, I know I come home, I've still got an income, I can still afford to pay my rent and my bills, I've still got my family and friends. Realistically, my life's not changing if April goes awful. And then on the flip side, if April was to go amazing, I've still got to wake up on the Tuesday morning after I've raced on the Sunday and go to work and work full time. So for me, it's like I've got such a solid foundation in terms of my life, in terms of where I live, where I am, my family, my friends, a job. Like swimming is kind of the bonus. So whether it goes amazingly or absolutely horribly, I've got that solid foundation to always fall back on. So I think for me, having that has just made me a lot more relaxed about it all. You're in a body bag at this rate. No lifeguards turned up or anyone to unlock the pool. Just sat in the car for 45 minutes for an absolute crucial set this morning. So I'm a bit late. I was meant to be logged in at work 25 minutes ago. So that's why I'm still out of breath. Just finished my main set, got my suit off, quickly changed, and then I've run to the car before logging in at work. Got a bit of a back niggle at the minute, so no dives, but I've got seeing my physio tomorrow. But I'm feeling strong in the water, so hopefully I'll be all right to jump in on Friday.
Edinburgh 12 months ago was a real success for Imi, so we put that back into the calendar. So you're trying to take a copy and paste a lot of the good stuff that happened in the last season and do that again. Unfortunately, it came at we now know at a wrong time.
Oh, shocker! It was a bad meet. Edinburgh was. We had good fun with the group, but yeah, not to plan at all. I just think it was timed badly with me going into adaptation. I'd done some big 40k weeks leading up to it, and I think having a couple of days to ease off was like in the intent, so I'd freshen up, and I think instead it probably just sent me into a big hole.
She's upped a lot of her workload. She's been training brilliantly. She's been doing things in the water that she's not done before, and better than she's ever done before, that's obviously just stimulated a period of adaptation that we weren't really in control of. And usually what I've found with her is that with a pretty easy week and just like a 1 week of rest, she comes good by the end of it and she has a really, really good meet, and that's happened every time. But I think because it was such a significant increase in workload for her since Christmas, she's needed more than a week, and so she's actually gone that one step backwards before she's come out the other end of it, and then she's ended up getting on the block at the worst possible time.
Of all the races that I've done previous, that's very much an anomaly. It's just rubbish that that's the last one before trials.
I'd wanted to go best time with only a half amount of rest, and feel really good and confident about it. But then obviously with that comes greater expectation. So it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? So maybe that going a best time at Edinburgh would have been a poison chalice. I know that's the way I'm looking at it now. And the silver lining is now that the pressure is really off.
It's obviously awful when I'm swimming so bad, and then you've got the other girls that are going best times. But that's just swimming. That's competing. Can't control what they do. I couldn't even really control what I was doing that weekend. Even my 50 breast was one of my slowest 50 breaststrokes I've done in absolutely forever. I can almost swim a 50 breaststroke easy and be guaranteed it would be a 30 point, and my heat was definitely not an easy heat swim, and it was I think I went a 31, which I've literally not seen a 31 on the scoreboard for a 50 breast in a long time. So it just showed that it wasn't so much a 100 metre thing, it was more of a me thing, just not being quite right for the meet yet. I went into that final very much like, if I don't win this, I need to sort myself out big time. Yeah, just proper, really had to fight for that final. I know it was only Edinburgh meet, but I don't like diving for a 50 ever and lose. So I really dug deep for that. So especially after it coming off the 100 being so bad, I really had to pull something special out for that, and I felt pretty drained after it, to be honest. But I'm really chuffed that I managed to, fight for that win, and I think that fight for that win on the 50 is kind of carried into my training now.
Sometimes with Imi it can be like a third of a second off where she wants to be, and that will be like the end of the world in the moment. It can be hard to think that everything boils down to literally one moment and one race. But I also know that she will bounce back from it. Like from the very first sort of few months that I met her, I'd seen her do a race where she was really unhappy with it, and like seeing the way that she will always feel the emotions. She won't bottle it up. She'll try and feel it like on the day after, and then she will be like, okay, on to the next. And I think that's probably something I admire about her, is the fact that like she really does feel it, and it is tough in a few days, maybe a week if it's a bigger thing. But I think that her ability to like move on from it is probably what makes her as successful as she is.
Got to give her credit. The best week of training she's done with me has been the week immediately following Edinburgh. So I think that tells you the kind of character that she is, and just that sums up Imogen in a nutshell, really. Like, have a bit of a sting and have a tough one, and then get back in. And what's the answer? I'm going to go and work harder. And so, yeah, all credit to her, really. She's been brilliant ever since.
We go again. Relaxed, funnily enough. I didn't even realise it was 10 days away. I think because it's always been like so far away, I've been trying not to think about it too much, and suddenly it's like next week. But I'm trying just to keep it chill and not overthink it too much just yet. Training's been really good. We've got the plan down. We're not going to taper too much to hopefully avoid what happened in Edinburgh. So yeah, I think we're ready to go. I've had one of my best blocks probably ever. I've done the most meters I've done for a very, very long time. My speed's still there, so I'd like to think that I can go and put myself in a position to go and do a lifetime best. I just want to enjoy the race. This will be my 12th British Championships now, so I've been around a long time. I just want to go and smash it up.
I think I know what everyone would assume would be the best thing to do for her, given her strengths. But sometimes your greatest strength is also your greatest weakness. So we're in two minds at the minute, and I think it'll depend on how confident she is when she gets on the block.
I think John will kill me for saying this, but he knows what I'm like. I'll decide when I dive in. I'll either decide to stick to a plan and it'll be paced nicely and it'll all go to plan, or I'll dive in and let the instinct take over. And it's one of them, I don't know what it'll be until I'm probably literally mid-flight on the dive.
It's just about keeping her relaxed and happy, but to be honest, that's quite straightforward with Imi. Like, she's good at that. She's been around, like I said, she's been around the block. She knows how to do that within herself. She's got a really good family network. Her partner and her know the score. They've been through the ups and downs together, and she's been there to support Imogen all the way through. So they're the things that sometimes can create a few stumbling blocks, is the stuff outside the pool. But when you've got such a solid network as she has with her family and things, it'll be good.
It's part and parcel of being with Imogen. I've always known that's what comes with her, so I'm fully supportive of it. And I think if I wasn't, we wouldn't be together, because ultimately that's such a big part of her life. That
to be able to swim fast in the pool, everything outside of the pool has got to work. It's not a matter of you have two different lives, because it's just not realistic. You've got to be happy outside the pool to be happy inside.
It's like so proud of her because of what she does day to day, less so even than the racing. And then for her, like if she's half a second off a time, she like will kick herself for it. So that's what's difficult, is I'm just like, but it's everything that you should be proud of.
It's a lot of strain mentally, swimming is, and I try and say I switch off from the pressure, but it's always there. But it's like I get to go and see my family and just know no matter what, they're always going to be there for me. And like when I go and race, it's for them as well. There's no way I'd be anywhere where I am now without them. So having that balance for me is just so important.
And yeah, that's all I want for her as well, really, is to jump out the pool with a smile on her face, knowing that that's everything. You got to know that that's everything. And I don't think anyone lives with any regret when they do that. I think you're quite comfortable with what you, when they say you leave it in the pool, that's technically what it means, is knowing that is your best. And as she says, win, lose or draw, she'll be back to work on Tuesday.
I'm a racer. I'll go and race the field, whether I'm in lane 1 on the outside lane or in lane 4. I'll absolutely fight to the end like a dog. So we'll see what happens. And like I say, I just want to enjoy the race. You know, guaranteed I'll be ahead on the first 25. I'd like to keep it that way for the whole race. Okay right now, which is always nice, you know, through taper not to hit any real big blues or anything. Been hitting some pretty quick times for myself in training. Hopefully it'll pay off in the pool, but yeah, it's been going really well.
So we talk a lot about her stroke rate and the time that, not only the time that she goes on certain sections of the race that she practices, but the rate that she's at. And usually she'd be at a bit of a higher rate to hit the time that she hit. So everything's looking like it's going in the right direction.
This last week I've been hitting times that I probably never hit before ever in training. Like your training PBs, which is quite nice. Not only just on like the speedy stuff, but on like my back end, which is always a good sign. Shows I'm clearly a bit more tapered as well, a bit more rested. So yeah, I think that momentum from the shocker in Edinburgh has kind of continued. I think I'm in the best position I've been in probably my life to go and throw down a good swim. And I think also having the shocking race of Edinburgh has kind of taken the pressure off that. At the moment I'm like flipping a coin, it could be amazing, could be shocking, but I feel quite relaxed, and you know, I think getting those good few weeks of training in has definitely helped like build me back up again.
I'm pretty confident. I tend to feed off her energy, and she's walked in the building today for a training session and she's ice cool, which is always a really good sign. And she has been tense before, like days before, and felt the nerves, but certainly 12 months ago she was a lot more nervous at this point than she is now. So looking forward to it now. Let's see what she can do.
To be honest, I'm going to try and not think about it at all. Did my swim this morning, I did a tough one yesterday just to get a bit of hurt. I like still remember that feel. But tonight I'm just going to chill out, go get some food, probably watch something rubbish on Netflix, and then just think about the race tomorrow morning.
Well, we'll just see what the day is, what the day entails, and we've had a good discussion about how the heat should be swum. She's going to swim the heat the way she wants to swim the heat, and we'll get a lane for the final, and then we'll take it from there.
I'll see you after I've been with the lads.
The last few Olympic trials have been more an opportunity to go and race fast over the actual trials aspect. This is the first one where it's kind of been more of a trials aspect, but that experience comes into play. You know, it's my 12th British Championships, but you kind of go through a phase where you get to be nervous. And now I look at my career and I try and be like I was 12 years ago, and I try and just be more excited for it and not to overcomplicate things.
I try and explain it that for every spot on the team, there's probably 3, 4, maybe even 5 people gunning for that same spot. So statistically, everybody, unless you've maybe been there and done it already, statistically you're not. It's very difficult to do.
At the end of the day, I've just got to swim 2 lengths of a big pool, try and have a smile on my face, and try not to get too stressed about it.
Imogen certainly, I think, lives by this. It's sort of the next race, it's the next training session, rather than trying to look too big a picture. I think when you've got a career where you never know if you're going to be on or off a team, you kind of have to live for the next thing rather than thinking too far ahead.
Like, I'm just ready for the conversation afterwards. But she's got some goals in her mind that she's very determined to achieve, and some of those are on the 50.
Trials is always a funny one. There's such a hype around trials that there's so much to lose there, and I think just from that experience I've now just learned how to kind of relax through trials a little bit more. I'll just go and try and smash out my heat, try and win the heat, and then if I do, well, wherever I come, just tackle the final when it happens.
Go with me, go!
Yeah, solid swim first time. It's good to get the cobwebs off for that heat swim, I think. Just chill out there, forget about it and switch back on probably tonight.
I always remember my very first one at 13 doing that because it was heat semis and finals and I was just absolutely buzzing to have made a semi-final. You know, I just want to go and swim my little heart out, to be honest, and just be that little young swimmer again.
This is the women's 100 metres breaststroke final. Imogen Clark in lane 3.
Yeah, you definitely get nervous. I get to a point where the days and weeks building up, it's like a nerves because you want to do well, and then when she's on that block, it's just like, oh, I just wanted to make it back in one piece. Like the nerves switch, it's really odd.
Oh, my mum gets so nervous. She always says she hides when she watches me dive in. So I don't think she actually ever sees me dive in, but if I was, I'd be hiding from the end bit, not the start.
She's also done a lot of work for the 100 that will benefit her 50, so that with some tweaks in her training post-April, if things don't go the way we want, she's got a lot of work there that she can cash in on for the 50 and go and have some fun and race abroad and see if she can crack that 30 point that she really wants to do.
When it's getting closer to obviously touching the wall, then it's not nerves, it's just because I know how well she'll do. It's just like anxious of whether she'll do as well as she wants to. It's more that.
All I want to do is, like I say, is walk away knowing that I've done the swim that I'm super proud of, because I think I've trained really hard for it. If I touch the wall and I feel like I've given it my all and there's nothing else I could have done and it's given me whatever result, then I'll be happy with that.
Ingrid Evans wins her first national championship title. Cara Hanlon in silver with Imogen Clark the bronze.
I think I held my own. I swam the race how I wanted to swim it. I really fought towards the end in that last 10. I can't ask any more of myself, and I think all the training that I've done, I've enjoyed a lot of it, training for the 100. I know that will it'll pay off eventually, and it might not have been this swim tonight, but hopefully it'll get me that 29 point in the 50. I've always thought I've trained a lot harder than a 107. I went at 107.5 back in 2017, so you know, 7 years later I'd have liked to have been more than 0.2 faster, but I think since 2017 I've done so much in this sport, and the 100 metres doesn't define that. I think as a person I've grown, as an athlete, I've got so much more to me than the 100 metres, so tonight I just wanted to finish off feeling good. I'm pretty excited, to be fair. What's next is the 50 freestyle. This is my 12th British Championships. I've been around for a long time, and I think longevity in the sport, it's not often come by. A lot of people have retired before now, always getting in that sticky spot. But I'm back to work, working my 9 till 5 on Tuesday. Nothing in my world changes apart from now I get to go home and focus on the stuff that I love in the sport, which is sprinting, and I'm good at the 50 breast. Why not give the 50 freestyle a bash? I'm going to try and get some tips off Ben Prad and just see where I can go now in the sport. It feels like a whole new chapter is just about to begin for me. As one door closes, another one opens, and I very much feel like this isn't the end.